Hey everyone, it's Jill the Wandering Stamper. I was commissioned to make an anniversary card for someone today, and it caused me to create this fun fold that I saw online, and I really loved it, and I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to use for her special anniversary card. So then of course I knew I had to share this fun fold with you. So today we are going to create a tiered accordion fold card, and I'm going to use the He's All That stamp set, which is still in the annual catalog, and I think it's maybe carrying over as well, so into the new catalog, so that's great. So I'm going to show you how to make this card. The great thing about this fold is you can use it for so many things, and as I show you my other samples, it's a great way to really showcase those stamp sets that have dies that go with them, because it's completely a 3D card. So let's get the camera turned down and get started. Thanks for joining me. I mean, come on, look how beautiful these colors are together. So what we're going to be creating is this really cool card. It's very sparkly, and I know it may be interfering with, the camera may be interfering a little, but I love this paper, and this is totally a 3D fold. So I'm going to show you how to make it. What we're using today is the this gorgeous paper. It is called Oxidized Copper, and it comes with two designs. It has this pretty peacock and copper colored sheet, and then it comes with two sheets, I believe, and then it also has this copper sheet. Look how pretty. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So I'm using that, and then I also grabbed some plain copper foil paper as well, so we can pull in all three of these colors. And then I'm pairing those colors with pretty peacock and copper clay. So we're going to use some cardstock and some ink in those colors. And then I am using the Hello Handsome stamp and the little compass stamp that says "Every day with you is another adventure." So that's what we're using. Let me get that out of the way and show you the stamp set. So this is the He's All That Cling set. It's a great masculine set. If you've been around for a while, you know there was some coordinating paper called He's the Man. Sadly, that has been retired. Thankfully, I bought an extra pack, so I still have it to play with. But there's plenty of papers out there that are masculine that this goes really, really well with. And I love all of the sayings. We've got a Father's Day. You can use this for birthday, barbecue, just thinking of you. It's just a lot of fun. And it actually would coordinate with the trusty Toolbox Designer Series paper that's in the mini catalog. So if that is still available, these could totally work with that. And then, of course, we also have the All That dies. So we're going to be using some of these dies in our card. And then finally, I've also pulled some pretty peacock. These are the Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foiled gems. They actually really go well with this color combo. That was kind of by happenstance that I saw that. So, and if you don't have those, the rustic metallic dots will work as well. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do this. I did some of the cutting ahead of time so that you don't have to watch me cut paper. Sometimes that could probably be redundant. So what we have is, first of all, our card base. Our card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so I've cut that out in Pretty Peacock. All right. And then I've cut a piece of Designer Series paper 2 inches by 4 inches, which is going to be layered on this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And of course, as you know, I will have all of my cutting, gluing, assembly, all of those instructions will be linked below on my website, wanderingstamper.com, so that you can go there to get everything you need to know to make these cards. So there we go, that's done. A little crooked, there we go. That's what I love about liquid glue. You've got a second to fix it. All right, and then we're going to need some colors. So I play around with colors and kind of figure out what I like. So there's going to be 3 pieces that create this accordion. So the first one you want is going to be 4 inches by 7 inches. I've already cut it by 4 inches by 7 inches, but I'm going to show you the scoring because you are going to be scoring all 3 pieces the same way. So again, this is 4 by 7, and I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch. And by the way, there's a 1/2, 1, and then the 1 1/2 is right on the edge of this piece right here. So it's easier for me to do it this direction, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm scoring at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same exact thing. So we've got a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. Okay? So that's going to be our second layer. Now our third layer is going to be the same thing. Instead of 4 by 7, it's going to be 3 by 7. And then the front layer is going to be 2 by 7. All right? So you've got 4 by 7, 3 by 7, 2 by 7, and everything is getting scored on each side at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. Okay? And then you want 3 more designer series paper pieces. So all 3 of those are going to be 1 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I just kind of played around with my colors. So I cut one of the copper foil sheets. So that is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So it just kind of leaves a narrow margin around. And then I've got one in the copper. And then I've got this last one that's in the Pretty Peacock in copper. So those are my layers. So now I'm going to show you how to assemble the front. So what you're going to do, I like to lay out all my colors so I know what I'm doing. And then I'll start from the biggest layer. And you're going to get my glue sheet, my mat out. All right, so I'm going to get my bone folder. This is a great thing to use your bone folder on because you want nice crisp edges. But I'm folding these 3 score lines like an accordion and give it a really good crease. So see, it's just like an accordion, and this piece is going to have glue on it to glue it down. All right, so that's why you want to have nice crisp edges so it's easier to glue that down. So we're just folding this like an accordion. Okay, and it'll be glued down. Now, one step, I'm going to go ahead and tell you ahead of time, it is easier to glue these on before you attach it. So I like to do the scoring and folding and then glue it, and then I'll attach the whole piece. For me, it was easier. You could probably do it after, but I find this a little easier for myself. So I'm just adding a little glue, and then I'm just putting it on there with just a narrow little margin and making sure everything's straight. So that is good. All right, so now that that is stuck on there, I'm going to go ahead and put down some liquid glue. And I like using my liquid glue because I can adjust it if I need to. Now you want this piece toward the top. So I usually start with my left, and I'm just putting it at the same level of this as this piece at the top, and I'm leaving a little margin at the bottom, like 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so everything's lined up. This piece of designer series paper is lined up. I push that down, and then just bring the other side down and push that down. Okay, and then if you've got it a little wonky, like mine's a little wonky, so you have, since you use liquid glue, you've got a second to push it over. So that's what I love about the liquid glue. Okay, so there's our first layer. Simple. So now we're going to do the same thing with the next layer. And if you want, you can do this even before you fold it. I kind of like to do it after I fold it, but we'll do it this way too so you can see. So I put my glue on. Ooh, this is why we use the silicone craft sheet. So now I'm going to lay that on there and leave just a narrow margin. That looks good. Okay. And I'm really got a lot of glue on here, so let me find my wipes. My wipes are AWOL, so you know what? It's getting wiped on my jeans. Okay. Don't tell anybody. All right, so now that that's glued down, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to varnish this with the bone folder, give it a really good swipe, flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, and then we're going to add our glue. Make sure our paper's toward the top and put this next piece on, and I'm just layering it right over the edge of the other one and lining up the bottom edge. So your sides and your bottom should all be lined up. Okay, so there is our second layer. I guess you could say third layer. All right, now we have that last layer. We'll just do it this way. We're going to go ahead and put our glue down. I love this copper. I love this copper paper. I feel like once in a while, guys need some glam too, right? So this is kind of a cool card. It's masculine and flashy and different. I like it. It's very different. All right, so that looks good. Sometimes it takes the glue just a second extra to really stick to this paper because it's shiny, so I kind of give it an extra little second to dry. You don't want that moving. So now I'm going to flip it over, and you can also rub it this way. Flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm going to add my adhesive again. And again, we're just lining up the edges. So this one's going to go right on the edge and make sure my bottom is straight, and then push it down on the other side. And then I'm just kind of putting my thumbs down here to make sure everything's lined up. And I'm going to hold that for a second because it's shiny paper, and make sure it's stuck. Okay? So there is all of the front layers. Super pretty, right? So let's go ahead and put the back on while the front's drying, and then we'll start embellishing everything else. So I've just got a piece of copper clay, and it is cut just a little bit smaller. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I got a piece of basic white, and that is 3 3/4 by 5. So that there's just a narrow margin. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 4 by 5 1/4, and 3 3/4 by 5. So now I'm not going to stamp on the back. I've decided that there's going to be enough wording on the front, but I do want to be able to write a message, or the person who receives this card, if they get it as a gift, they can give it and write a message. I haven't decided what I'm doing with this card yet. So there we go. There we go. And so now that's on there nice and straight. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the back. And you could just use one layer of basic white and not do the copper clay, but I really love how it pulls the front of the card together and the back of the card together by adding both colors. So I'm putting that right on the center, so there's just a narrow margin all the way around, and I'm just moving that around a little till I get it perfect. All right, so that looks good. So there's the back. So now we're going to do some decorating on this. So we're going to grab our pretty peacock and some scrap paper. See what I've got. Here's a scrap. We'll use that. And I'm going to use this stamp that says "Every Day with You is Another Adventure." I tell you, that's the motto for my husband and I, because we adventure all the time. So there we go. I'm just going to stamp that down. So pretty. I love this color. So we're going to close that up. And then that's going to be die cut, and voila, I've already die cut it for you so that it's ready to go on the card. And then the other piece is going to be the stamp that says "Hello Handsome." So I'm just going to show you how beautifully that one stamps out. This one's cute. It's got a little mustache, so I love it. My husband has a little mustache. So there we go. Hello Handsome. I love that little mustache. I think it's a lot of fun. So that's that one, and I have used a die to cut this one out as well. And let me show you the dies. So I used this scalloped circle die to cut out the circle, and then there's this fun little frame, so that's what I used to die cut Hello Handsome. And then I also used these little flags, and it's to make like an award or a ribbon or whatever. There's a couple different ones in here, but I took that peacock and copper foil paper and I cut 2 of those out with that. So there they are right there. And then I've also cut out a couple of these little paisley pieces with copper foil paper to put on my card as well. So that's everything that we die cut for this card. So like I said, you can have a lot of fun with it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to add these little flags to this tag, because I kind of just want to have it off to the side, kind of flying, just give it some interest, some visual interest. So I'm going to add just a little glue. Actually, what am I doing? I want to add the glue to the front, so let me wipe that off. See, the silicone craft sheet is the bomb because you can wipe things off. So a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. Almost did that wrong. And so now there's my wording. So I think I'm going to do one right here. And then I'm going to add the other one right here. See how fun that is? So now what I want to do is I'm going to put it on my card maybe about right here. That's kind of fun. So I know I only want to put adhesive down here. So I kind of just put my finger where I know the adhesive needs to be, and I'm just going to use a little Stampin' Seal Plus because that will put it on there really fast. And I'm going to look where my glue is. And there we go. So that is on. Look how cute. And so for the Hello Handsome, I'm going to put this on the front right here. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals. I think that's the best way to do that. So I'm going to do probably 5 so it doesn't get mushed in the millimeter. Great way to use your take your pick tool so you don't have these little pieces of paper all over your place. All right, and I'm just eyeballing this roughly in the middle. And there we go. All right, so I feel like it needs something else. So again, remember I die cut a couple of these, and what I did is I die cut it onto the adhesive sheets. Now you could use glue, but it is tricky to get the glue on there. But Stampin' Up! Has these adhesive sheets, and I just cut a little piece that's going to fit where my project is going to go. I was trying to see if I have a scrap to show you. But I just cut the piece for the size I need. Here we go. And then I put that adhesive on the back and then put my paper on top of it and then run it through the die cutter, and then you just peel the bottom off. So now when I put this on there, I don't have to worry at all about glue getting everywhere. So there we go. So that's the front, and then I also have a second one right here, and this paper's not peeled off, so let me peel that paper off for you. Let's see if I can get it started. Sometimes, there we go. So you just peel off the paper backing like that, and now it's completely sticky. And I'm going to put this one right here. So now you don't have to monkey with glue and having little sticky spots. Now one fun thing about that die is you end up with all these little, this is garbage, but you end up with all these little diamonds. So I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we could put some of those on there. I know it's supposed to be garbage, but I think they're kind of pretty. So let's see. Maybe we can put a couple of these on here. So let's put one. See where it lands if I just drop it. I'm going to put one right there. So these can almost work like your regular embellishments. There, and I'm going to add one more. Why let them go to waste, right? So we'll do one right here. So it just adds a little bit more glam, which I think is fun. Guys can have glam once in a while. All right, and so last but not least, I feel like this second layer here needs a little something because it doesn't have anything on it. So how about we grab those pretty peacock gems, and I'm going to look at it and see if you close it, you can kind of see, okay, let's put one here, and then we'll put a smaller one here. And let's put one right in the middle right here. That's kind of fun. Right there in the middle. There we go. So that card was pretty easy, right? So there we go. There is our tiered accordion fold card. Look how cool it is when it sits up. It sits up completely tall. It's got some glam. It's different than your average card, and you have plenty of room to write on the back, and it just folds flat and fits in a regular envelope. And you can go that extra mile if you'd like and decorate the back of your envelope. So on this envelope, I just stamped Hello Handsome on the envelope. This is actually going to a customer, so I have it in a sleeve right now to keep it nice. So you can make your envelope match. It would also be really pretty to put a piece of this paper on the back of the envelope instead. So let me show you the rest of the samples. So this is the one that we just did. And here is the one that I did for my customer. She requested an anniversary card and said her husband was into vintage vehicles. So I created this using the designer series paper that sadly is no longer available, but I stamped this image and then I colored the bus in Calypso Coral so I could pull that Calypso Coral into because it's in the paper, I wanted to pull that together. And I added a little wink of Stella to the windows so they look like glass. Super cute. And then this piece is one of the punch outs. These are all punch outs that come with the paper. And I colored it in with crumb cake to give it a little bit more color and so it wasn't just white. So lots of fun. I used the metallic dots there and raised up this little arrow with some dimensionals to give it a little pop, and then on the back it just says love this guy. So I think she's gonna love this, giving this to her husband for their anniversary. And then this third card I had a lot of fun with. This third card I used the Zany Zoo set. Look how fun this is. So I created my 3 layers. This back piece of paper is one of the pattern pieces. It's black and white, and I just got my alcohol markers out and I colored it in all the colors that are in all of these little dancers' dresses. So we've got all kinds of color there. And then I die cut the curtains and attached those to the third layer, and then added all the little dancing creatures. And I didn't stamp any of them. These are all fussy cut from the designer series paper. And then I added You're Too Wonderful to the bottom, and it says something great to celebrate you. Again, I fussy cut all of this and then just die cut these flowers and the curtains. So you can do a lot without stamping sometimes. And then on the back, I just fussy cut one more. I actually used the die for this one. I had an extra one in my pack that I had die cut before. So I went ahead and attached her to the back of the card with plenty of room to write. So I don't know who's going to get this card, but look how super special it is. It's so cute. And when you have it sitting up, all these little creatures are just happily dancing along. And I think this would be fun too to use wobbles on, the little wobbles that make things wobble back and forth. I think that would be really cute too. So let me know which one your favorite is. These are totally, completely different products, but same fold. So just remember, when you find a foam fold, think about all the ways you can use it to create different things. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to make sure you don't miss a video. I publish them every Wednesday. And again, there'll be a link below to my online store and to my website, which has all of the cutting, scoring, and assembly directions, along with photos of all of the products. So I thank you very much for joining me today, and I very greatly hope you get a chance to craft today. I'm Jill the Wandering Stamper. See you next time.